Today on People Now, Cameron Boyce's dad is opening up about his heartbreak after losing his son unexpectedly over the weekend.
An Indiana family is in shock after their toddler falls from a cruise ship. We have the latest.
Ed Sheeran, is that you? We have Ed's latest look to tease his new album, and we've got some thoughts.
Hear how the Riverdale cast is honoring the late Luke Perry at their first table read for season 4.
Plus, Hannah is meeting the parents. We are breaking down last night's dramatic Bachelorette episode with our panel and Bachelor alum, Nick Viall.
It's all today on People Now. Let's go.
Good morning, everyone. Happy Tuesday. We have the wonderful Danya Duchess back with us today. Hello,
hey,
Danya. You have a lot of cool mottos. What's your Tuesday motto today?
My Tuesday motto is, when you can't find the sunshine, be the sunshine.
I love that. Great way to start your day. If you're having a bad day, an important thing to remember is that nobody cares.
Amazing.
All right. Okay, we have a lot to get to today. Here's what you need to know and what's trending. Starting on a somber note here, Cameron Boyce's dad is breaking his silence about his son's heartbreaking death. On Monday, Victor Boyce thanked Cameron's fans on Twitter, writing that he's overwhelmed with the love and support their family has received. Calling his son's death a nightmare he can't wake up from, Victor explained that the well wishes have helped ease the pain for him and his family. Cameron died in his sleep from a seizure on Saturday morning, according to a spokesperson for the family. He was only 20 years old. Since Cameron's passing, his co-stars, fans, and other celebrities have been sharing tributes to the late star on social media. Fellow Disney star Laura Marano stopped by our show on Monday and had nothing but love for Boyce. Watch this.
He was such an incredible guy, and I think there are so many amazing memories that I'm sure so many people have of him. I know for me, he worked with an organization that I've been working with called Thirst Project, and the last gala that they had, he was awarded an award there and actually made such a beautiful speech. And I remember talking to him after. I saw him shortly after that too as well. But he was a really, really incredible guy, and I'm just really feeling for his family right now, his super close friends. He just moved in with them. Yeah. His very close friends. And you know, hopefully we can all learn to heal during this time.
A lot of love pouring out for Cameron. An autopsy has been completed, but Boyce's official cause of death is still unknown. Onto a very sad story here. The family of a 1.5-year-old girl who reportedly slipped out of her grandfather's hands and fell to her death from a docked cruise ship over the weekend is in shock. Authorities tell the Associated Press that the girl, who's from Indiana, was traveling with her parents, 2 siblings, and 2 sets of grandparents aboard the Freedom of the Seas cruise vessel. The ship was docked in San Juan, Puerto Rico, after a week-long trip through the Caribbean. Several officials, as well as the cruise line, confirmed the incident on Twitter, with the Department of Public Safety in Puerto Rico saying, quote, "Unfortunately, the news of an accident involving a baby on a cruise is true. The Department of Public Safety is working the issue with the seriousness and sensitivity required." A spokesperson with the Puerto Rico Ports Authority tells AP that the family was at a dining hall on the 11th floor of the ship when the little girl's grandfather, Salvatore Anello, allegedly sat the toddler on the edge of a window. According to police, Anello is currently under investigation but has not been charged. Police also say authorities have not been able to interview the family of the child, but they will remain in the U.S. territory until the investigation is complete. And although the toddler has not been identified, Indiana's South Bend Police Department announced that the little girl's father was one of their police officers. In a statement on Facebook, the department sent their sincerest condolences and asked the community to, quote, pray for the entire family as they grieve and to respect their privacy. Royal Caribbean Cruises has called it a tragic incident and says it is helping the family. A spokeswoman says the ship departed Puerto Rico on Monday for St. Martin on a new itinerary and declined further comment. Well, Joe Biden and his wife Jill are opening up about their son Hunter Biden's issues with addiction. In a new interview with CNN's Chris Cuomo, the former vice president praises his son for never giving up during his years-long struggle with alcohol and drug abuse and promises Hunter will continue to fight.
American families are dealing with some sort of struggle like we are. And I think they can relate to us as, you know, as parents who are hopeful and are supportive of our son, and we will continue to be supportive. And I think that makes us more empathetic about helping other Americans. And I think
he's gonna beat this.
Yeah.
This kid, I'm telling you, as you know, you knew Bo. Bo is my soul. Hunter's my heart. And Hunter's been through some tough times, but he's fighting. He's fighting. He's never given up. He's the most honorable, decent person I know.
I love seeing the passion and the support they have for their son. In a recent interview with The New Yorker, 49-year-old Hunter Biden was candid about his struggles with alcohol and drug abuse, saying he started drinking socially as a teenager, then later picked up smoking when he was a student at Georgetown. Hunter also went into detail about his battle with alcoholism, saying in 2003 his ex-wife Kathleen Biden begged him to get sober. He admitted himself to a rehab center for the first time that year and has sought help over 10 more times since then. Hunter went on to call addiction darkness and a never-ending tunnel, admitting, quote, "You don't get rid of it, you figure out how to deal with it." Well, you guys, there is nothing strange about the number of people watching season 3 of Stranger Things. On Monday, Netflix released viewer data for the hit show, revealing that 40.7 million member accounts tuned in to watch a portion of the show in the 4 days following its July 4th release. The global debut now boasts the biggest viewership number for a Netflix original series or film in its first days. So Netflix is notorious for keeping viewership stats private, but according to The Hollywood Reporter, Stranger Things numbers are significantly bigger by comparison to some of Netflix's other hit shows. So back in April, The Hollywood Reporter reported that according to Netflix, The Umbrella Academy has been viewed in 45 million member households in 1 month. In January, the company said You and Sex Education racked up 40 million views in their first months. Both amazing shows, by the way. I love those. Over the course of a week in December, more than 45 million Netflix users also watched the Sandra Bullock thriller Bird Box, the best first 7 days for any Netflix film ever. You love Bird Box.
I love Bird Box, and I'm definitely going to watch it again.
Now, in June, Netflix said over 30 million accounts watched the Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler comedy Murder Mystery in the first 3 days of its release, the biggest opening weekend ever for a Netflix original film. Very impressive. Season 3 of Stranger Things finds the Hawkins crew teaming up once again to take down the evil Mind Flayer after it begins possessing residents in the summer of 1985. It's streaming now on Netflix, so if you haven't, make sure to check it out. All right, Monday night's episode of The Bachelorette was all about hometowns. It's one of my favorites because you really get to see where the guys are from. The remaining contestants did not disappoint, and I like that the family kind of brings the drama as well.
Yes, definitely. I was like eyes glued to the screen the entire time. But what we want to know is which hometown date was your favorite? We know who ours is, and we'll talk about that later, but was it Peter's flight, Tyler's boat ride, Luke's Sunday school, or Jed's songwriting sesh? Vote in our People poll or tweet us your answer with the hashtag #PeopleNow.
All right, we'll check in on those results and break down everything from Monday's episode in just a bit. But for now, Danya, you have even more for us in Star Trek.
Yeah, we do. Okay, we're kicking off Star Trek today by remembering one of the best. 4 months after Luke Perry's untimely death, his Riverdale co-stars are paying tribute to him as they gear up for season 4 of the hit CW series. On Monday, Mädchen Amick, who plays Alice Cooper, posted a sweet photo on Instagram of the cast at their first read-through for season 4. She captioned the pic, "There was nothing but love, memories, and mourning for our beloved Luke as we honor him in our first episode back." She ended the post with a heart emoji and the hashtags "We miss you, Luke" and "In Memoriam."
A very sweet post there. Now, Luke Perry died from a massive stroke in March of this year. He was 52 years old. The creator of Riverdale, Roberto Aguirre-Sacasa, said in an interview in May of 2019 regarding Luke's death, "It was just devastating, and we wanted to honor Luke and figure out the best way to handle the character of Fred Andrews in the show. So we sort of said, you know what, let's not rush to squeeze something into the finale or into the last couple of episodes. Let's really think about it. Let's tell that story at the beginning of season 4. I love that they did that. They didn't rush to tell the story.
Right, they took the time to settle in their emotions and figure out the best way to do it possible. It was beautiful. He added Luke was the heart of the show and reiterated that the Riverdale cast and crew wanted to take time to really honor Luke Perry and his life. Season 4 of Riverdale will premiere in October 2019, and Perry will also appear in Quentin Tarantino's Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, releasing later this month, which was filmed prior to his death. Now, in other news, Ed Sheeran is getting ready for his album to drop. I know we're all excited about that. And also maybe Halloween?
It's a look.
It is a look. I kind of like it, though. Is that weird?
I like it.
3 days before the release of his upcoming album, the singer is going shirtless with a ton of face paint that looks like it was inspired by Sugar Skull makeup.
Look, he's going all out. He looks very intense in the photo. And obviously, after you're done checking out the makeup, look at the tattoos. They're completely covering his torso and arms. Do you like a tattoo, man?
I love a good tattoo. My husband has no no tattoos.
You have tattoos, though.
I have 7 tattoos.
I have no tattoos, but I like a tattooed guy.
I'll show you mine later. Sheeran captured the photo Friday X, which has fans in an uproar of excitement that a video featuring this look could be dropped with his album.
So he also posted a video with snippets of a few of the songs that will be featured on his collaborative album, captioned "Number 6 Collaborations Project out Friday too, the whole shebang." So is he hinting that fans are going to get more than just the album on Friday? I'm thinking so.
Yes, I'm really excited about it. And in another post, Sheeran is sitting in a diner in what looks like behind-the-scenes shots from an upcoming music video. He's wearing a t-shirt that reads "Don't Touch," which of course has fans speculating that it might be a music video for his collaboration with Travis Scott called Antisocial.
So we can expect to hear a lot of different artists on this collab album. You've got Justin Bieber, Bruno Mars, Chris Stapleton, Cardi B, Camila Cabello, and Eminem. A big range here. That's just to name a few. Who are you most excited for, Danya?
Oh, that's literally a trick question for me because I love them all. But honestly, their song right now, him and Justin Bieber, is my all-time favorite. I'm looking forward to hearing his Cardi B collab.
Yeah, and Chris Stapleton too, because I love country. Number 6 Collaborations Project is available for pre-order now on Amazon.com and drops this Friday.
Okay, the Bachelorette contestant and frontrunner Jed Wyatt is speaking out after his ex-girlfriend told people that they were still in a relationship when he left to begin filming the show.
So dramatic. In a lengthy Instagram post published on Monday, Jed wrote that he has received threatening letters and phone calls in the wake of the drama surrounding his ex-girlfriend's claims, and he asked viewers of the show to reserve judgment until he's allowed to properly respond to the allegations. So his caption reads in part, "I ask that you please understand how much the actions being taken towards myself, my family, the men on the show, and above all Hannah, are affecting all of our mental and physical health. It goes beyond what is said online."
This is really intense. Like, it's going there. So contestants are traditionally barred from speaking publicly about their time on the show until the episode in which they're eliminated airs. And Jed is still a contestant along with Tyler C., Luke P., and Peter the Pilot, all of whom competed for a rose this week with the hometown date.
And you guys stay with us. We're breaking down Monday night's episode of The Bachelorette with former Bachelor alum Nick Viall. It's hometown week, so you don't want to miss this. Those are your star tracks for today. And stay with us. We're not done talking The Bachelorette yet. We got everything you need to know about last night's episode in just a few minutes. Plus, Chrissy Teigen is getting fans excited for her brand new show, but she might have just shared a little too much about it. We've got the details. And we've been asking you which Bachelorette hometown date was your favorite. So let's take a look at your polls so far. I'm hoping you guys went with Peter the Pilot because...
Is that yours?
Oh, Tyler's. Okay. Tyler's was good too. The first two guys, Peter and Tyler, are the best.
Tyler's my favorite.
And the poll results show that exactly.
We're here, guys. I love it. Keep voting, but for now, we move on to this.
Chrissy Teigen is so ready to bring the funny that, well, she kind of already brought it. Chrissy is set to be a judge on the new comedy competition series, and she tried to tweet out just a clip to tease the show, but she accidentally shared the entire first episode. This is a big mistake.
It's a huge mistake, but I mean, I love Chrissy Teigen. She can do no wrong in my eyes, but don't worry, because fans were quick to jump to her aid and point out the error. One Twitter user writing, that's a whole episode, my dude.
Another fan writing, can't tell if this is intentional. I mean, Chrissy Teigen is a pretty savvy person. Either way, kind of great publicity. Wait, that's the thing. Chrissy is Twitter queen, and she is very savvy.
The
so
Twitter queen.
It's weird that she would tweet out an entire episode by accident.
Well, it feels like it was an accident.
She's multitasking.
She
doing
can
a bunch
do
of
no
things.
wrong in my book. I mean, Whitney Cummings replied to the tweet with, "Girl, this is the whole episode," which led Teigen to respond, "Why would they send it is my question."
She can feel it. Teigen posted a follow-up tweet after the confusion, joking, "Well, it looks like I have been fired for posting the whole thing. Thank you all for your kind texts and DMs. Please send job opportunities to same number."
She always knows exactly what to say.
Yeah.
It's so funny. And she went on to say, "Anyhow, if you didn't watch 30 minutes of it online, watch it tomorrow at 10 p.m. on NBC. I'm really proud of it and the new friendships and love affairs I made."
Ooh, in a recent interview with Good Housekeeping, Chrissy called her co-stars, quote, "hands down the best group of people I've ever gotten a chance to work with." High praise.
Yeah, super sweet. In particular, she had high praise for fellow judge Jeff Foxworthy, saying he is the, quote, unexpected love of my life.
So she explained, saying, "I never would have guessed how much I could love this man. His family is incredible. Our lives couldn't be more different. In commercial breaks, I love hearing him talking about plowing corn or his life on the farm." Maybe a little competition for John Legend there.
I see. I would love to hear what John has
Everyone
to say
likes a
about all
farm
of
boy,
this.
you know?
Bring the Funny premieres Tuesday at 10 p.m. Eastern on NBC, and we cannot wait to watch.
Just want to say thank you all so much. Thank you for coming here to Times Square. Thank you for allowing us to love on you.
That's Good Morning America's Robin Roberts gushing over the United States women's national soccer team, aka four-time World Cup champions.
Players Alex Morgan, Alyssa Nair, and Megan Rapinoe were joined by their fellow teammates on Good Morning America this morning. New Yorker Crystal Dunn, who didn't make the team in 2015, but triumphed this year, said in part that it was her teammates who helped her become the player she is today. Watch this.
It starts with just investing in yourself. I think that's what I decided to do 4 years ago was, not hang my head, but just, invest in myself, believe in myself, surround myself with people who wanted it for me and I can want it for myself. And I think, 4 years ago, I was a different person, different player, and just being here with this team, fighting every day, you can't help but get better being around these women.
Without a doubt, she certainly surrounded herself with the right women.
Well, I love that they all lift each other up and then also lift every person in the world up.
Right.
It's so inspiring. And the conversation surrounding these women is, of course, equal pay. And Megan Rapinoe has been one of the pioneers behind getting them paid as much as the men's national team. So when asked about the topic, Megan urged fans to get involved, not just let the conversation end with paying the women equally. So take a look at this.
The conversation needs to move from, are we worth it or should we have equal pay? What can we do now? How can FIFA support the federations? How can federations support their players better? How can the leagues support their players better? For all the fans and people, Good Morning America, everybody, go watch your team. Watch the national team. Watch your local club teams. I think that there's a part in this for everybody to do. And I think we've really left the old conversation behind us, and now it's time for that action.
Yeah, she's definitely inspiring people to get out there, watch women's soccer, and really support them.
100%. I think the thing that I love about it most is that you don't necessarily have to be a soccer fan to understand that what these women are doing is amazing and super empowering.
Yes.
Yeah. They definitely launched the conversation with this because everyone is talking about it, and this team really is a dynasty, and that's what everyone's calling them.
Yeah, they've won 4 World Cup championships overall, and when asked if the term dynasty works in describing her team, Megan says, yep, it is quite fitting. Take a listen.
Do you like that word dynasty?
Yeah, I think it suits us, right? I mean, if the shoe fits, you got to put it on. So, yeah, this team, I think, fits well into that word.
Fröhlich sei das Haben, es sind fröhlich, fröhlich, fröhlich.
This week is hometowns, and I'm really looking forward to meeting 4 amazing families.
This house right here is the house where I grew up.
It means a lot that you want me here.
I knew right away, oh my God, this is real.
Do you feel like he's ready?
I will admit you've got me worried.
Luke really lives his faith, and we're on a good path.
Somehow, the heart is softened to you. And you know what? That is a gift like we could never deserve.
Peter's heart can get broken, so I'm very nervous. I know that you're dating 3 other guys, and it scares me.
I'm sorry. I only want the best for you.
I'm a mom, a little guarded. I'm falling in love with him. Do you say that to all of them? She asked me if he'd be ready to be engaged, and I said no. It feels like a very impossible situation.
Are you okay?
No.
Man, nothing more dramatic than family, right? Here to break down Monday night's episode of The Bachelorette is People's writer and reporter Jodi, Guglielmi, senior editor Breanne, Heldman, and Bachelor alum Nick Viall. Welcome, everyone.
Hi.
We were just saying this season is really good.
It's the best. I think it's the best one in a long time.
I know. Before we get to the episode, let's talk about this. So Jed finally addressed all of this ex-girlfriend drama on his Instagram.
Did he really, though?
Well, okay, he didn't confirm or deny.
Didn't
but
seem
he
like
did
it
say
definitely wasn't a denial.
He did say that, all these fans and people coming at them, it's affecting his physical and mental health of him, of his family, and also of Hannah. So, Nick, as a, with your perspective, former Bachelor, what do you make of all of this?
I mean, I listen, as a cast member, it's definitely even worse now with social media, the kind of access to information of people's opinions that you shouldn't have as a human being, and that makes it hard, right? And every cast member, I certainly have gone through criticism, and that's never easy. It's even harder on family. I know my family struggled with it. They're very defensive. That being said, I mean, again, we're waiting to kind of see if the story that you guys broke, what's the truth. There's a lot of evidence, and it seems very legitimate. And so it wasn't a denial. And I think it's gotten to the point where if it were me, and if it were a situation where either he had a girlfriend or he didn't, and if he didn't have a girlfriend, I would be like, screw it, I didn't have one. I'll get to the details, but she's lying.
Yeah.
And that hasn't happened. I don't think it's right for fans to.
You're like, yeah.
I don't think it's right for fans to make threats. I don't think it's right for fans to harass his family. That's not okay. But I think it's a really sticky situation, and clearly Jed is, he's top 4 for sure, and from a viewer standpoint, I think he's the front runner right now.
Well, okay, so let's get into it because this week was hometown week, and Nick, you obviously went through this. How did your family feel before and after meeting the girls?
When I was the Bachelor.
Yeah.
When I was the Bachelor, so they only met the final 2 when I was the Bachelor. I think at that point it's different. My family was emotional, kind of invested in my love story, so they met Vanessa and Raven. I think they loved Raven, and when they met Vanessa, I think they knew what I was going to do. In a sense of, but they thought Raven was great and sweet, but they kind of sensed, like as soon as they met it, like they knew.
Yeah, and everything's heightened when family's involved. I want to talk about these individual dates. Peter the pilot is the sweetest man I've ever watched on any show. I love to meet him. I hope she ends up with him. Anyway, what did you guys make of his date? So they go on a plane. The family's so emotional. So for Jodi and Breanne, what was your take on this date?
I mean, it was only a matter of time before Peter the pilot got behind the wheel of a plane. The whole time I was screaming, like I kept forgetting they were in the air, and I was like, eyes on the road. But I was like, oh no, wait, okay, they're safe. But I loved it. I thought that you really got to see, one, how close he is with his family, which I love to see, and I feel like you could see how much he wanted them to like Hannah and how seriously he was taking it. I just loved it.
I feel like he's the one of these 4 guys who are taking this the most seriously, and I think his family seems the most okay with this concept of him being with the Bachelorette.
I want to know from each of you, do you think Peter is ready for marriage? Jodi?
Yes.
Do you think so, Nick?
I don't think he's not ready, but I feel like if it doesn't work out, he'll be fine.
Okay, and Breanne?
He also believes in safe sex.
Oh, yes, that's true.
Yeah, that was funny. That was funny.
Yes, I think he's ready.
Okay. And then, so Hannah then heads to Florida to see Tyler C., who is my favorite, who I'm hoping she ends up with.
Also a good choice.
And is also a fan
also
favorite.
very pretty.
Yeah, it's fun to watch and look at.
Exactly. He took her on a boat ride through his hometown. He showed her his childhood home. And then Hannah later reveals to the camera her concerns about whether or not Tyler C. is ready for the next step. So, Breanne, break it down for us. What about Tyler is making Hannah feel hesitant?
I think Tyler is very pretty, and Hannah is realizing that maybe this is lust and not love with him, and maybe that's part of the appeal, and he's certainly very nice, and there are not big red flags like there are with some of the other guys, but I think she's starting to realize that he might be a little immature.
Yeah, I think I look at Peter and Tyler the same for a lot of reasons. They're nice guys, they're good looking. As far as her relationship with both, I don't think she's as emotionally invested at those two as Luke and Jed or whatever. I think she feels familiar with those two for whatever reason, like Luke's faith, and maybe it's just the Southern upbringing, I don't know, but I think she finds Tyler and Pete hot and fun to make out with, but I don't see her really believing the relationship there post-show.
But they're such good guys. It's this visual of why the girl always goes for the bad boys,
right.
like Jed and Luke, and you have these 2 sweethearts right in front of you.
Yeah, I mean, we're only, we're only seeing certain sides, and
that's true.
I'm not a huge Luke P fan, but even this episode, his
anybody
conversation with his mom was sweet, you know, and so who knows? Like,
let's talk about Luke P though. So for his date in Georgia, he takes her to Sunday school Bible study. He talks about when he used to live in sin, the whole shower story that we keep hearing.
Yeah.
Jodi, have your views on Luke changed post hometown?
That pause said it all.
Okay, because I have conflicting feelings. Yes, I think that this made him a smidge more likable. I don't think he is yet fully likable, but I did like seeing him with his friends. I think a lot like Hannah said, like it kind of validated some of the good that she sees in him. And when I saw how genuinely shocked his parents were by the idea of Luke causing problems in the house, it kind of made me think like, okay, maybe this really is more just about the environment and his age and not so much about how he acts in everyday life.
I mean,
I don't know. I still think he's kind of problematic.
He is, but
you
I
felt a little
yes,
bit more
I
compassion
felt-
towards
yes,
him.
yes.
Yeah.
Your heart tugged a little more for him.
A little bit, but I'm like,
You're still
bye.
Wow. Okay, so Hannah met
wasn't
Luke's family and
sinister.
revealed.
Right, yeah.
She revealed her struggles with him throughout the process, and his family, like you said, did seem really disappointed to hear their son's reputation, but defended that once he was called out, that he humbles and he changes. So Nick, after meeting Luke's family, have your views on him changed or altered in any way?
Kind of in your camp where it's like it doesn't change, right? And it certainly doesn't justify some of the gaslighting and shaming he's done to Hannah throughout the season, but it makes you at least think of, like, he's just a young guy who's probably a little ignorant, and he's trying to live in this kind of isolated world and speak his truth, but it's coming across very poorly. But his family does soften him, his conversation with his mom. Like, it made me think he's capable of enlightenment and like becoming less ignorant over time if he's willing. And I think his heart, he means well, but maybe he's just.
Do you think he's just trying to find the middle and he's just scared of becoming that person he was again? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it feels like two extremes and he's trying to find the balance.
I don't think he really knows who he is as a person, to be honest. You know? I don't, that would be my take.
Yeah, I still don't think he realizes why some of the things he said and done are problematic to begin with. So I think watching the show will be a big lesson.
I was going to say, watching back is going to be very eye-opening
It was
for him.
interesting, too, because the way his family does describe him as someone who's willing to learn and be humbled. You've seen that with Luke this season. Like, it's almost annoying how much he flip-flops. He'll say something really strong, and then Hannah will be like, what? Or the guys, and he'll be like, well, I mean, I didn't really mean that. Like, and he'll change it up. Like,
Kind of just talks the talk.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the final hometown dates with Jed in Tennessee. So they write and record a song together for their date. Surprise, surprise. Jed tells Hannah he loves her. Hannah meets Jed's family, and meeting Jed's family didn't go exactly as planned. So let's take a look at this clip.
Do you feel like Jed would be at a point in his life where he would be ready for that? I wouldn't have felt that way before, just because he's a musician. Yeah. You don't get a diploma to be a musician. Yeah. So, I mean, Jed's had to have jobs and try to create time and space to do his music. Yeah. It's his heart and it's his soul. So he couldn't go to work full time and do music, you know. So his path is different. Yeah. Very different. I mean, I think she's beautiful and I see her personality, but this was the first I've seen of her, you know. I think this is crazy. Oh. Like, she asked me upstairs if I thought prior to this, would you be ready to be engaged? And I said no.
So yeah, Jed's family not as welcoming. I mean, Hannah and Jed had this strong connection from the get-go. Breanne, do you think this is going to affect her a lot? What's going to go through her head?
Well, clearly from the end of this episode, it is affecting her. She is starting to waver and think maybe Jed is not ready for this or fully invested. And it clearly affects her and matters to her that mom is maybe not on board. So I do think it will.
I like that the sister just like shut her down. Yeah. The sister was so harsh. The family was not
They were
for
not
Hannah.
feeling, and that's hard, like, to try to date someone when the family's not on board.
Yeah.
Let alone on national television.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. So Hannah struggled during the elimination round, and spoiler, no one got eliminated. The bottom two were Jed and Luke, and this was arguably her most challenging elimination yet. Nick, if you're Jed in this situation, what's going through your head?
Well, I mean, the Jed situation, I keep thinking he's just like, oh, how do I figure out this girlfriend situation?
Yeah, I know. Is Jed even in the game at this point?
Yeah, like, again, like, back to his hometowns, I honestly felt like his parents were just confused, like, trying to figure out, like, is this for real, or, like, are we still playing? I don't know. I mean, Jed, what I was fascinated by watching the elimination was, I felt going into that rose ceremony that Luke, Pete, and Jed were her two front runners.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to figure out who is she going to send home.
Yeah.
You know, because I was kind of shocked that Peter and Tyler got the first two roses, and there clearly wasn't any editing there in terms of who got the actual first two roses versus what we saw, because there was that whole like them hanging out. So I'm really curious who is she gonna send home?
I'm curious. And then we saw the trailer for next week. It's what we've been waiting for. The windmill thing. Can it happen already? I'm so excited. Jodi, what's your predictions for next week? Who's Windmill Boy?
New hashtag.
I think next week is obviously the episode we've been waiting for. I'm excited to see how everything goes down and to hear the actual what seems to be a sex-shaming conversation and what is said on both sides. And I also want to know who the windmill boy is. I'm going to be watching that episode, looking for every windmill there is in the background.
Breanne, who do you think windmill boy is?
I really think Windmill Boy is Jed. There was definitely a shot in the trailer last week, but not in this week's, that showed Hannah and Jed together with a windmill in the background.
All right. All right, before we let you go, we're taking one last look at our people poll. We've been asking you which hometown date was your favorite. So let's see what people are saying. Looks like Tyler and then Peter second. I like our Twitter followers though, because they're kind of with us on this.
They are with us.
Do you guys agree? Did you have a favorite date?
Well, I mean, I thought the Luke and Jed were the most interesting to watch.
Interesting,
so like for me, that was
not like a little chaos.
Right.
Yeah, it was just interesting. So I would have picked those.
Yeah.
I guess I watch it differently.
Nick, Jodi, Breanne, thank you guys so much for being here. And guys, we'll be asking you a new question of the day tomorrow on People Now, so tune in.
All right, before we go, some sad news to report. Ross Perot, the tech billionaire who upended the 1992 presidential race with an unlikely and surprisingly popular independent bid, has died. According to NBC News, Perot had been diagnosed with leukemia, and the Washington Post is reporting that he died at his home in Dallas. A spokesman for the family told CNBC, quote, "In business and in life, Ross was a man of integrity and action," adding, "a true American patriot and a man of rare vision, principle, and deep compassion. He touched the lives of countless people through his unwavering support of the military and veterans and through his charitable endeavors." Though he made his fortune in computers, Perot earned his largest platform with a run for president in 1992 against George H.W. Bush and Bill Clinton. He rose to the top of the polls by preaching his gospel of tough love, tax hikes, budget cuts, and all-around fiscal discipline, making his way onto the ballot in all 50 states. In the end, Perot earned nearly 20% of the popular vote, the largest total for a third-party candidate in more than 50 years. He ran again as an independent in 1996, earning about 8% of the popular vote. Perot, a Texas native, is survived by his wife Margot, as well as 5 children and 16 grandchildren, according to CNBC. He was 89 years old. Our thoughts go out to him and his family, or him and his family at this time. Now, coming up tomorrow, are they in it for love or for money? Sean Lords and Megan Thomas are one of the 6 couples from TLC's new series, Marrying Millions. They'll stop by to tell us all about it.
Can't wait. Plus, we're getting the tea on the Punky Brewster reboot starring Soleil Moon Frye. Thank you guys for watching, and for now, we leave you with one last thing from Tyler Rich.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Hey, I'm Tyler Rich, and this is one last thing. The last dessert I ate was blueberry pierogies at my fiance's family's house. The last song I had stuck in my head was Power Over Me, Dermot Kennedy, Power Over Me. My last date night was super simple. It was some wine and just hanging out on the couch, watching Netflix, which sounds really easy, I know, but we never get to do that.